Never assume that loud is strong and quiet is weak. We live in a world that often equates volume with power. The loudest voice in the room is frequently seen as the most confident, the most capable, the most dominant. Meanwhile, quieter people are sometimes misunderstood as unsure, passive, or lacking strength. I used to believe that too. For a long time, I thought strength meant being the one speaking up first, taking control, proving my presence. And yet, some of the strongest people I have ever known were the quiet ones, the observers, the steady forces who did not need attention to validate their worth. That realization changed how I saw strength entirely, because true strength is not about how loudly you show up. It's about how solidly you stand. Quiet strength is often the deepest strength. Quiet doesn't mean weak. It often means thoughtful, grounded, observant, emotionally aware. Some people process internally before speaking. Some prefer listening over dominating conversations. Some carry enormous resilience without needing external validation. And that restraint can be incredibly powerful. Strength sometimes looks like patience, sometimes like composure, sometimes like choosing peace over proving a point. Not everything strong needs to be loud. Loud does not always equal confidence. Volume can sometimes mask insecurity. I have seen people speak loudly not because they were certain, but because they needed reassurance, because silence felt uncomfortable, because control felt safer than vulnerability. And honestly, I have been that person too at times. When we are unsure, it can feel safer to fill space with words than to sit with uncertainty. But real confidence rarely needs to announce itself constantly. It simply exists. Confidence often shows up quietly through consistency, integrity, and calm presence. Learning to value different forms of strength. One of the biggest mindset shifts for me was realizing there's no single blueprint for strength. Some people inspire through bold leadership. Others inspire through quiet steadiness. Some motivate through speaking, others through listening. Both matter. Both are needed. When we stop comparing styles of strength, we start appreciating the diversity of how people show up in the world. And that appreciation builds stronger connections. My own journey with volume and silence. Earlier in my life, I sometimes believed I had to be louder to be heard. I thought visibility required performance. I thought speaking first meant being stronger. But healing taught me something else. Stillness can be powerful. Reflection can be transformative. Silence can create clarity. And ironically, the more comfortable I became with quiet confidence, the more people actually listened when I did speak, because it came from authenticity rather than urgency. That shift changed everything for me. Listening is a superpower. Quiet people often notice what others miss. They pick up emotional cues, subtle shifts, underlying meaning. Listening deeply is a rare skill today, and it is one of the strongest forms of communication there is. It builds trust, it fosters understanding, it strengthens relationships. Being heard matters, but making others feel heard is equally powerful. Strength comes from alignment. True strength is not volume, it is alignment. Alignment between who you are, what you value, and how you live. When those things match, you do not need to prove yourself constantly. Your presence speaks for itself. Some days that presence may be bold, other days it may be quiet. Both are valid. Strength adapts, and that flexibility is part of what makes it real. Redefining strength on your terms. You do not need to become louder if quiet feels authentic. And if you are naturally expressive, you do not need to shrink either. The goal is not to change your nature, it is to understand it, honor it, use it intentionally. Strength is personal, and the most powerful version of you is the one that feels genuine. Slay reflection. Let's reflect, Slayer. S. Do you tend to associate loudness with confidence or strength? Why? L. When have you witnessed quiet strength in yourself or someone else? A. Are there moments where you speak louder than you feel because you think you should? Why? How can you honor your natural communication style while still showing up authentically? Call to action. Join the conversation. I'd love to hear from you. Do you identify more with quiet strength or expressive strength? And how has that shaped your journey? Share your story in the comments. Let's cheer each other on. And if you know someone who needs reassurance that strength does not have to be loud, send this to them. Sometimes all we need is a nudge. I'm Carrie Genzel, reading a blog from stateofslay.com. Slay on.